across the way and wrote a song, we're about to build a new Anguilla. Where is that new Anguilla? Our honorable leader of opposition, and hopefully the next, people talk about the first female premier. She's got all the qualities to be a premier, whether male or female. She just happens to be a woman. So I'd rather people say our next premier and not about a female premier. When you talk of building a new Anguilla or building anything, it's better to build from within. And what does within means in Anguilla about Anguillians? I grew up in a home where I was the oldest male in the home. I've got an aunt who's probably listening tonight, although she should be asleep. She was the first mother I knew. Dorothy Connor, they call her daughter. She was my mother. She was my father. My maternal mother was in England. Why was she in England? Because as a 1-year-old, her son, I was a 1-year-old here in Anguilla, she left Anguilla to go to England to work in the factories to support me. To support me. When people ask and wonder why I came back to Anguilla, why I came back to this island, that my home, is because I had a huge obligation. The opportunities that I had that were given to me by my community here. Uncle Frank, who is in United States at the moment, Sister Elfrida Hughes, Belter's wife, and a number of persons in this district, they were my family. You talk about a community, they were my family. They were one of many. Teacher Oma, who's passed on, who took me up before the minister, when many others were probably looking down, she was there with my mom. I came back because God gave me the opportunity to go to England, to fulfill a dream that many thought was a pipe dream of being a professional cricketer. Ended up playing in Australia for 9 years. But in my heart, there was a voice saying, why are you in Australia coaching Australians? Why are you not in Anguilla finding a cricketer to play for the West Indies? Omari wasn't the first, Shaka Hodge was. And many others, Jamar Hamilton. K.C. Carter, even though born in St. Martin from an Anguillan father, he played for Anguilla from the age of 13. And if you check his stats, he's still registered as Anguilla. So I get back to those 4 young boys. Because I realized that even though they will call me, well, 2 of them at least, to take them to cycling, or to golf training, or to the sailing school in Sandy Ground, or when one who has to play for his high school team in football, he could call me. He could call me. That is my obligation to these youngsters. But I cannot do it alone, and I don't profess that I'm doing it alone. We need to look out for our youngsters. We need to look out for our youth. And a lot of the time, when we are blaming the youth, we as grown men and women need to look at ourselves first and said whether or not have we passed on to them what was passed on to us. One of the things that concerns me greatly is why are we talking about not having as an Anguillan, you don't have the right to vote? Are they being serious? When you think that for years, women, black people in South Africa, United States, weren't given the right to vote. People like Dr. King, who died fighting to give black people the right to vote. And our very own is trying to stop our Anguillians who left these shores half the time as illegals to make life better for us here in Anguilla. Send the first probable paycheck they got to build a home. To build a home here in Anguilla, because Anguilla is their home. And we've got people who've invested overseas and then going to say that being an Anguillan doesn't give you the right to vote. Are they really serious? I'm hurt by all of this. But you know what? That message is not just for the Anguillians overseas. It's for all of us here. Remember COVID? Remember COVID. Whether you like it or not, if you're overseas, you couldn't get back. You had the right to vote, but you couldn't get back. Right now, you've got the right to vote, but some want to stop you from coming back to vote. The other issue is, why do Anguillians have to come back home to vote when persons from overseas can stay here and vote in their country and probably still go to the polls and vote here in Anguilla? Joseph Vanderpool, our .ai ban. We talk about .ai is the new thing in technology today. The first thing, and the millions of dollars we get from .ai, those Anguillians who might be overseas right now, but their hearts and souls are here. We have to make sure that wherever they are, if they go to the moon as an astronaut, they still can vote here in Anguilla at the next general election. Maybe not 2025, but 2030. That's what has to happen. There's an issue that I have to get back to the single parents. And single parents doesn't mean just the mother, but we know, unfortunately, in our society, it is mainly the mother that is left holding the baby, left holding the child. There's a mother that said to me 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, if she had the money, she would take her children to England. If Anguilla is doing so good, if we profess that Anguilla is the best place to be. In fact, is Shelia still around? Shelia owes me an apology. Shelia owes herself an apology. Shelia owes the people of Anguilla an apology, whether they're home or abroad. Shelia owes the tourist board an apology, but especially herself and a very good friend, Donna Banks. Because Shelia said for 3 consecutive years, I bet you none of you can hold your breath for 1 year. Maybe 10 minutes? Well, that's maybe impossible. Maybe Jose and where's the other scuba man? Where's Davon? Maybe they could do it. The fact is, for 4 years running, for 4 consecutive years, Anguilla was voted #1 in the Caribbean, Bahamas and Bermuda. Sell your shoulder short by 1 year. And during that time, remember the challenges that we had. Remember the challenges that we had. We had to deal with the banking crisis. And I'll tell you one thing, this gentleman here to my left, I've respected him from the first day I met him, and I'll respect him until my eyes are closed. I promise you, one of the most challenging times, Irma was challenging, but you know what was really challenging? When we realized the issue that we were having with the banks. The issue that we were having, because if Anguillians and anybody who had money in the banks, if they had gone and had a rush on the bank, we would have had huge problems. For 2 weeks, I did not sleep well. And I probably for our Premier, Chief Minister and then Premier, the Honorable Victor Banks, it would be more sleepless nights. So Victor and Premier, I thank you so much. I thank you for the autonomy you gave me. You often said, you compared myself, who was a parliamentary secretary, Everly Bradley, being elected, you say you're all on the same level. And I promise you, he treated me that way. When I needed help and support, I could go to him. When persons needed help and support and asked of me, the next question they asked, where's Victor's office? But that's the type of person he was, and that's the type of person he is. So again, when you consider that for 4 years running, we in Anguilla was voted #1 in the Caribbean, Bahamas, and Bahama. Yes, and blow the horns, because they deserve that to happen. The fact that as soon as the APM got into office, what did they do? They forgot about, in fact, the Honorable Hayden Hughes should not have forgotten about it. I gave him the trophy for the last year. Unfortunately for him and for Anguilla, it won't happen again, will it? Because from 2020 up to now, we've lost that #1 spot. You know why we lost that #1 spot? Because the number of people, the number of guests that continue to come back to Anguilla, they say the #1 asset in Anguilla is what? Is the people of Anguilla. But the way our people have been treated for the last 4, almost 5 years, how can we seriously say that Anguilla is the best in the Caribbean? The quality of any nation is about their people. And we cannot treat our people the way that these guys are doing that. Getting back again to the single mother. If we want to build Anguilla, we need to build it from within. If our parents, our young parents are struggling, we need to find a way to help them. Growing up, the community was there. Now the community, and I see there's a lady here tonight who are getting in a situation where, hope she don't mind me saying it, but would have lost a daughter a couple of years back. And you know what she said to me? Mr. Connor, I'm not sure how I'm going to manage. I've got 3 children, 3 young children to raise. I can't retire. This is a grandmother who's finished work not long ago. We talk about the amount of money that's coming in, the amount of taxpayers' dollars that we're giving to, not giving to government, government's taking from us. The .ai money that's coming in. How about building a nation? How about building a people? Sure, concrete is okay. I'm not going to talk about you can't eat concrete. You could build the most attractive building in the world, but unless a human being is in that building, there's no life to it. If Anguilla needs to have life, we have to invest the life in our people. We have to invest in our young people. We have to respect our mothers. We have to respect our grandmothers who are forced to work to make ends meet. Government, Madam Leader and team, as we get into office, that's going to be our #1 priority. We have to bring back our community. We have to bring it back, and it starts in the home. It's easy to blame people that are saying that the problem's in the home. Maybe the problem is all around us because we're not sure what's happening in the home. Have you bothered to reach out to ask what is really happening in the home? Probably not, but we're probably judging. Not probably, we are judging. The person that died yesterday, or two nights ago, why did he die? He died in a car accident. Why? Of course there'll be accidents. But sometimes if you're driving and overtaking, and I need a number of the ministers of government to come near the Bedden as well at some point in time, in fact, the Rogers well, and see what is happening. There is a death there waiting to happen because of the speeds that they go there. There's no point having a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. Who pays attention to it? They don't. They don't. When I heard that this gentleman had died, I was afraid it was along that stretch. When you go home tonight, in fact, probably not tonight, focus on the road. But the next time you drive to West End, when you come past the lights, have a look along the sides of the road. You see the number of tracks where they're leaving the road. The cars are leaving the road and going into the bush. A number of our people in my community, in our community in District 7, they need to walk in order to exercise for their health reasons, not because they want to look pretty. They need to do that. But you know what's happening? They're refusing to do that now. You might be walking to get fit because the doctor says you have to do that. But what's happening along the sides of a road or along the roads, that's the quick death. But we cannot afford for that to happen. We have to put legislation in place and follow through on it. You should not be coming through my community or any community in Anguilla for that matter at that speed. and run the risk of killing a mother, a father, or a child. That is not the way to go. It is not the way to go. Fellow Anguillians, and all of you who've turned out tonight, in fact, I was speaking to one of my mentors, the one who bashes my ear when he thinks that I need to pay more attention. And he said to me, "What are you going to talk about tonight?" I went through what I'm going to reiterate the role I play in my community. He said, "You don't need to do that anymore. The people of West End know what you do. The people of West End know what you do." I want to take this opportunity tonight to thank so many people in this community. So many people in this community, because the perception is that whatever you do, you're doing it for politics. But my people know that before politics, I was there for them. And I will be there for them after politics. But I promise you, as much as I would like to think that I've achieved this and I've achieved that, just like being a professional cricketer where you need a team, I've got a team of unsung heroes here in West End. I've got a team of unsung heroes that are in England. When we have a challenge that Anguillians are forced to leave to go to England, Robert Williams, Jonathan Gums, Grace Carter Vanderpool, Nat Vanderpool, and many others, who the Premier and his team want to say they're not allowed to come home to vote, we can reach out to them. And we've got to respect them for that, and I thank them for that. For my AUF family, not just these guys here, because it was just us here tonight, we wouldn't have the same atmosphere. I thank you all. My cousin, where is she? Where's Manelva? She's there. I love you. I love you. This lady, again, over the last month, couple of months, been through some trying times. And our Madam Leader came and was able to help a number of other persons. The names that I mentioned, Robert Williams, again, thank you for the role that you play. There's so many people here individually who've turned out. The voice, the cheerleader, Mr. Smith, I thank you for what you do. But all of you who are here, we cannot do it. We as the Anguilla United Front team cannot do it without you. You're part of the team. You're part of the team, and as we go forward, we will not do as the others have done. We will continue to listen to you. I said listen, not just hear, we listen. We won't talk about noises. We will listen to what you have to say, because as we go, you go. The other thing I want to say is that at the last general election, and people are allowed to vote for who they want, but it's a bigger man or a bigger woman who can admit when they made a mistake. We've got two here in the midst. Pat Martinbrough is our MC tonight. But there's something about Kyle Hodge that I respect dearly. For a long time, people in Anguilla, or politics around the world, it is believed that politicians are in it for what they can get. And most people think it's opportunity and money. Well, this man here with a young family, a young wife and young family, he made a commitment to you during the campaign of 2020. And the bigger he is a man, that he decided that he will stick with his people. He's decided he will stick with his people. That's why he's here today. Please, yes, put your hands together. So I admire that in him. I admire in those who we know that supported them profusely the last general election. But they're prepared to come out now to say to the people of Anguilla, we got it wrong. They got it terribly wrong. But you know what? Saying you got it wrong isn't always the answer. You've got to find a way to fix it. And those were the words. The Honorable Victor Banks, whenever we had a challenge, all he said, we got to find a way to fix it. Not to blame, not to send around crazy memes and all that stuff. To me, I don't bother pay attention to that. It reminded me of the days that what made me a cricketer at Hampshire for 15 years as a professional. If any of you follow the game of cricket, they have the mics near the phone. They're going to talk in your ear. The players are going to talk in your ear. They're going to call you all names. They'll tell you don't know who your father is or who they know who your mother is. But it's up to you as the batsman or the bowler to focus on what your job is. Kyle said he jumped off the ship. You know what Kyle's focus was? Kyle saw the light. He saw the light. And you know what? When you see the light, he knew where he was going. He knew where he was going. The same with me. My focus is what I can do for my people. That is my focus. Over the next coming months, weeks, we'll have other meetings. There are a number of issues that I need to touch. Sports, the development of sports is one. We are very hypocritical as a people at times. We accept our achievers when they achieve, but we're not there to invest from the ground up. From the ground up. That's where it starts. We talk about our youth here today or tonight. It is vitally important that we make sure we invest in our youth in order to get that future. We talk about the senior citizens. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Literally wouldn't be here. Growing up in this society and throughout Anguilla, it was their leadership that helped to mold majority of us. I know it's been a long evening. So my fellow Anguillians, home and abroad, those who are out there, you come home to vote. You vote for your future. Those who are here, you vote for the party that you know or the team that's going to make your life better. In District 1, please vote for Claude. In 2, the future Premier of Anguilla, Cole Richardson Hodge, and not too distant future, but in 2025. In District 3, the pocket rocket, I would like to call her, Shelia Rogers Webster. You thought Jamaica had a champion? You know, Shelia Rogers is our champion. In 4, Cordell Richardson. That's the man. Davon Cardi in 5. Pat Martinborough, a man who's had his feet on the streets for years, supporting others. It's time that people support him now. Yes. In District 7, Cardi's the one, as Benji would say. Thank you all so much for turning out. But one thing though, one thing I will say before I go. All of those names that I mentioned in districts, to us it means nothing if you don't vote for our team. And our team of island-wide candidates, it is vitally important. It makes life so much easier. For you in District 7, if you say that card is the one you want to vote for, if you're voting for me, it's not one vote. It is 5 votes, and 4 of those are island-wide. I will come around and make sure that you get that true understanding. It's 5 votes and it's 5 lights in every district. In every district. May God continue to bless you, and may God continue to bless Anguilla. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Not a sense some had in their name. Couldn't hold a job, boy, because of shame. All of a sudden, like they lose their blight.
District 7, thank you for having us. And to the people on the social media, including my good friend Jamie, I see that you're WhatsApping me straight. This is just the beginning. That's all I have to say. So thank everyone for coming out. And our next move will be in District 6. So you know, get ready, get prepared, and be there. We have a lot to share. And if you think you have heard anything, wait for 6. So Anguilla, thank you very much for listening to us. And for those who on their journey home, get home safe and stay safe, and see you on Saturday in District 6. Thank you very much. Good night, and God bless Anguilla, and God bless all.
And a rally for the District 7 West End candidate, Mr. Cardigan Connor. It goes down on Saturday, January 18, on the grounds of the Alwyn Allison Richardson Primary School West End from 7:30 p.m. Come and see Cardi renew his commitment to the people and address the burning issues impacting our country today. The entire Team AUF 2025 will be on hand for this grand occasion. See you on Saturday, January 18, 2025, 7:30 p.m. at the Alwyn Richardson Primary School West End. That's when the Anguilla United Front, AUF, presents a massive launch rally for their District 7 West End candidate, the Honorable Cardigan Connor. You can't afford to miss it.
Champion, me a real champion. Champion, me a real champion.